Hi, third graders. This week we'll continue our work with fractions. Today we're going to talk about mixed numbers. Our learning targets today are that we'll be able to write a mixed number for a model, which basically means a picture. So looking at the picture, I should be able to write a mixed number that picture represents. And then the opposite of that, if I'm given a mixed number, I should be able to draw a model to represent that. So that's exactly what you'll be doing then to show evidence of today's learning. Writing mixed numbers and drawing models. What is a mixed number? Basically, a mixed number is a mixture of a whole number and a fraction. So when you have more than one whole, like you might have one whole or two wholes or three wholes, and a fraction of another whole, you put those together, you'll have a mixed number. So it will look something like this. If I have 1 and 2 whole watermelons plus a half of another, then my mixed number is 2 1/2. And that's how I say it, 2 1/2. There are 2 1/2 watermelons, meaning there's 2 whole watermelons and half of another. That's a mixed number. So what is the mixed number that this picture represents? Did you say 1 3/4? That represents 1 3/4. That's the mixed number. How about this one? Find a piece of paper or writing material of some sort and write the mixed number that this picture represents. 2 3/8. 2 wholes and 3/8 of another. So 2 3/8 is a mixed number. It's got a mixture of a whole number along with a fraction. How about this one? Pause and write, and then come back and check. 2 5/6 is the mixed number for this model. How about this? 1 2/3 is the mixed number for this model. So this is showing that there's different models you can use to show these mixed numbers. We've seen bars, we've seen shapes. We'll see a few others down the road here too. Okay, now let's flip it. If we're given this fraction 3 3/4, how could I represent that with some kind of a picture? We've seen some different ways. Now it's our turn to actually draw it. There's a few, of course, different ways I could do it. I might use bars, 3 3/4. So notice that my wholes are about the same, because if I'm working with fractions, the wholes should represent the same amount. Now this next one, because my fraction is 3 3/4, I'll want to divide that last bar into fourths and then shade 3 of them. So here we've got 3 whole bars and 3/4 of another. How would I show 1 2/5? You pause and draw a picture or a model, and then come back and let's compare. What did you draw? You might have bars or some kind of shape is just fine. If my circles aren't quite exactly perfect here, but we all know I'm not perfect. And then fifths, fifths might not be quite as 1, 2, 3, fairly close. 1 2/5. So I've got 1 whole and 2/5 of another. How did you show 1 and 2/5? As long as you have one whole object and then 2/5 of another, with that second one being divided into 5 equal parts. How about 2 and 3/5? What did you draw? As long as you have 2 wholes and 3/5 of another, you're correct. Another way I could represent mixed numbers is on a number line. So this could be another model or another visual that could be used. So remember, with a number line, these are the whole numbers as we see them being labeled 1, 2, and 3. And because we're working with fifths, then we notice that the in between the whole numbers, we've got 5 equal sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 as they're labeled down here below. So 1 and 4/5, where would that go on a number line? 1 and 4/5 is almost 2, right? So it would be between 1 and 2. So it would go here, 1 and 4/5. How about 2 and 1/5? Point to where you would label 2 and 1/5. Did you point to that spot right there? 2 and 1/5. So 2 wholes and then 1/5 of the next. So how about these? Where would 1 and 1/3 be placed? 1 and 1/3. 2 and 1/3? You've got it. How about 3 and 2/3? Yes, again. So pictures like with shapes or bars or even a number line could be a way that you could represent mixed numbers. Here we have tanks or containers, and it says the scales show the amount of milk in each rectangular container. If I were to read how much milk is in these containers, for number 6, how much milk, how many liters is that container holding? I see a number line with 1 liter and 2 liters, and then here I see that milk line. Okay, so it's almost 2 liters, so it's over 1. So there's 1 whole liter, and then how many sections are there? 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we would say that the amount of milk in this container is 1 and 3/4 liters. How about in container number 7? How many liters of milk are in that container? Can pause and figure it out. So we know it's between 2 and 3, so we've got 2 whole liters. And then where's that line? If you are counting out, you probably noticed there are 10 spaces, 10 equal spaces. So in this case, we've got 2 and 7/10 liters. So that's our mixed number here, 2 whole liters and 7/10 of another. Those are mixed numbers, third graders, a mixture of whole and fraction, whole numbers and fractions. So your practice of writing mixed numbers and drawing to represent mixed numbers can look like completing worksheets if you're liking printing them off, or even just pulling them up and looking at them and writing your answers on another piece of paper. You certainly can do it that way. And then check your answers with the last slide. Or there's a few IXLs where you can do some matching with models and then writing mixed numbers as well. So either way would be good ways for you to practice. And then today's must do to show your learning is to go back to Seesaw. There's an activity there called mixed numbers, and that's where you'll go back and show. You'll be given a model, and you'll write a mixed number that represents that, and then vice versa, you'll be given a fraction or a mixed number, and you need to draw a picture to represent that. And then there's actually a third slide, so you'll want to complete all the slides in that Seesaw activity. Another is to make a connection at home. Go through your house, find some kind of objects or some kind of representation of mixed numbers. Snap a picture and tell us about it. So, mixed numbers today. Well done, third grade.